All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Sarabjeet Kaur. The headlines. Government evacuates 626 people including 228 Indian nationals from Afghanistan. Sikh community thanks Prime Minister Narendra Modi for evacuating Afghan Sikhs and bringing Guru Granth Sahib from Kabul. Prime Minister Modi discusses Afghan situation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. G7 nations urge Taliban to guarantee safe passage out of Afghanistan even after August 31 deadline. Mahad Court in Maharashtra grants bail to Union Minister Narayan Rane. More than 59 crore 47 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Gujarat government issues COVID guidelines for Janmashtami and Ganesh Utsav. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds. And India to begin its campaign at Tokyo Paralympics today. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News since 16th August and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Recalling our yesterday's question, who set up the underground secret radio station during Quit India movement and on what date its first broadcast took place? The correct answer is Usha Mehta and 14th August 1942. Usha Mehta was pursuing her higher education in Mumbai when the Quit India resolution was passed. Soon most of the prominent leaders were arrested by the Britishers. To spread the message of Gandhiji and other leaders among the masses and communicate with revolutionaries, Usha Mehta, with the help of other young independence activists, launched an underground radio station and their first broadcast was on 14th August 1942 with the announcement, "This is Congress Radio calling on 42.34 meters from somewhere in India." AIR News got an overwhelming response from its listeners across the world and one lucky winner of the quiz is Tushar Patil from Thane district, Maharashtra.
My name is Tushar Patil. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. मैं आज के आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव क्विज का विनर हूँ, जिसका मुझे बहुत ही आनंद हो रहा है। मैं ऑल इंडिया रेडियो का नियमित रूप से श्रोता हूँ और एक अच्छी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिलती है ऑल इंडिया रेडियो से। अभी जो क्विज चल रहा है 1 साल का पूरा, तो वो बहुत ही स्तुत्य उपक्रम है। इससे आपकी नॉलेज भी मिलती है और आपके जो फ्रीडम फाइटर्स है उनके प्रति, जो देश के प्रति योगदान रहा है, जो हमारे आने वाली जनरेशन है, उनको भी उससे प्रेरणा मिलती है।
Congratulations to Tushar from Team AIR News. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners on Monday, 30th August. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News.
And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke on telephone with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. Both the leaders discussed the unfolding situation in Afghanistan and its implications for the region and the world. They expressed the view that it is important for the two strategic partners to work together and instructed their senior officials to remain in touch. The two leaders expressed satisfaction at the progress in the special and privileged strategic partnership between both the countries despite the challenges posed by the COVID pandemic. They appreciated the ongoing bilateral cooperation in the fight against the COVID pandemic, especially in the supply and production of Sputnik V vaccine. Both the leaders also touched upon the forthcoming multilateral engagements, including the BRICS Summit, meeting of the Council of Shanghai Cooperation Organization or SCO heads of state, and India's participation in the Eastern Economic Forum. Prime Minister Modi said that he looked forward to President Putin's visit to India for the next bilateral summit. The two leaders agreed to remain in touch on bilateral and global issues, in particular the situation in Afghanistan. A total of 626 people, including 228 Indian citizens, have been evacuated from Afghanistan so far. While addressing the media on the Afghanistan evacuation operations, Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said the number of Afghan Sikhs who have been evacuated is 77. The minister thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for carrying out rescue operations. Mr. Puri received the Sikh holy book of Sri Guru Granth Sahib brought from Kabul in Afghanistan at Delhi airport yesterday. He said it was a moving experience as a Sikh to receive the Swaroop of Guru Granth Sahib. He said Guru Nanak Ji believed in gender equality and was the first environmentalist. The minister also said that the Afghan evacuations should not be politicized. He said India will always support persecuted minorities.
This sentiment is what is important. We have traditionally followed a policy of non-refoulement. We don't turn people back. Modi ji's government has gone out of its way, especially in the case of persecuted minorities in it. ऐसे समय हमें narrow partisan political positions नहीं लेनी चाहिए.
Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has thanked the Union Government for evacuating the people, including 44 Afghan Sikhs, and bringing 3 Swaroops of Sri Guru Granth Sahib from Kabul with due respect. Sharing a video on Twitter, Captain Amrinder Singh said he is happy to learn that 3 Swaroops of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji have reached New Delhi through a special flight from Kabul. He said 78 people, including 25 Indian nationals and 44 Afghan Sikhs, have also landed in India. Talking to AIR, Jaswinder Singh, a resident of Sri Muksar Sahib, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always extended support to the Sikh community in home or abroad in times of distress. Sikh community of Jammu appreciated the government's efforts to bring Holy Guru Granth Sahib Ji safely from Afghanistan.
मेरा नाम रणदीप सिंह है। मैं एक सिख नौजवान सभा का मेंबर हूँ। हम सराहना करते हैं सरकार की, तो आगे भी आस करते हैं कि जो भी मिनोरिटी अफगानिस्तान में फंसी हुई है, चाहे हिंदू है, सिख है, जैन है, उनको जल्द से जल्द भारत में या कहीं भी उनको लाया जाए और उनकी अच्छी तरह से यहाँ पे भी देखभाल की जाए और उनको पूरा स्टेटस दिया जाए। सर, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी हमारे भगवान है, हमने नहीं उनको लाया, उन्होंने ही हमें लाया। ये उन्हीं की कृपा है कि जो भी सिखाए अफगानिस्तान से, उन्हीं के आशीर्वाद से ही हम आए यहाँ से।
मेरा नाम तरनदीप सिंह है। मैं एक सिख एक्टिविस्ट हाँ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਾਈਨੋਰਟੀਜ਼ ਹਨ ਸਾਡੀ ਹਿੰਦੂਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਸਿੱਖਸ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਹੀ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਪਲੱਸ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰਿਲੀਜੀਅਸ ਪਲੇਸਿਸ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਹੁਣ ਜੇ ਲੋਕ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਦੇਖਰੇਖ ਕੌਣ ਕਰੇਗਾ। ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਜਾਗਦੇ ਜੀਵ ਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਸਰੂਪ ਉਧਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ। ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ੰਸਾ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਸਟੈਪ ਲਿਆ ਔਰ ਸਰੂਪ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਪੁੱਜ ਸਕੇ ਹਨ।
Sikh community from Bihar has expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for carrying out rescue operation in Afghanistan. R.S. Jeet, former senior vice president of Takht Sri Harmandir Ji, Patna Sahib, told AIR that Sikh community of Bihar is very happy after bringing of Guru Granth Sahib Ji from Kabul to Delhi.
मैं R.S. जीत तख्त श्री हरमंदिर जी पटना साहिब जी का फॉर्मर सीनियर वाइस प्रेसिडेंट बोल रहा हूँ। तालिबान के कब्जे के बाद अफगानिस्तान में जिस तरह से अफरा तफरी मची हुई है, उस माहौल में श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी का पावन स्वरूप पवित्रता के साथ भारत लाया गया। इसके लिए मैं तहे दिल से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का शुक्रगुजार हूँ। सिख समुदाय के लोगों को भारत लाने के लिए जो कदम उठाए जा रहे हैं वो काफी सराहनीय है।
The government will brief the floor leaders of all political parties on the situation in Afghanistan tomorrow. In a tweet, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has instructed that the Ministry of External Affairs will brief the floor leaders. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said floor leaders of political parties would be briefed by the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on the present situation in Afghanistan tomorrow at 11 a.m. in Parliament House Annex. He said invites are being sent through email and all concerned have been requested to attend. G7 leaders have said that Taliban will be held accountable on terrorism and human rights issues. At a virtual emergency meeting in London, they have asked Taliban for unfettered humanitarian access in Afghanistan. They have urged Taliban to guarantee safe passage out of Afghanistan after the August 31 deadline for the withdrawal of US troops from the country. Reiterating their commitment to the people of Afghanistan, G7 leaders have said that the Afghan people deserve to live in dignity, peace and security, particularly the women and the girls. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson told that Taliban must allow safe passage to Afghans wanting to leave the country even after the August 31 deadline. Besides, the group has evolved a joint approach dealing with the evacuation and also a roadmap for the way in which G7 is going to engage with the Taliban. He added that G7 has a considerable leverage on economic, diplomatic and political fronts.
In a big relief for Union Minister Narayan Rane, the Mahad court granted bail to the BJP leader last night. Mr. Rane was produced in the Mahad court after he was handed over to the Mahad police by the Ratnagiri police. Rane's counsel, Aniket Nikam, argued that since the minister made the statement on a public platform, there is no need of further investigation. You're listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Government evacuates 626 people, including 228 Indian nationals from Afghanistan. Sikh community thanks Prime Minister Narendra Modi for evacuating Afghan Sikhs and bringing Guru Granth Sahib from Kabul. Prime Minister Modi discusses Afghan situation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. G7 nations urge Taliban to guarantee safe passage out of Afghanistan even after August 31st deadline. Mahad Court in Maharashtra grants bail to Union Minister Narayan Rane. More than 59 crore 47 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Gujarat government issues COVID guidelines for Janmashtami and Ganesh Utsav. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds, and India to begin its campaign at Tokyo Paralympic Games today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ इरादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. You're listening to the morning news. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 59 crore 47 lakh mark. The cumulative figure stands at 59 crore 47 lakh 65,751. The Union Health Ministry said out of the total vaccination, more than 46 crore vaccine doses were administered as the first dose and 13 crore 45 lakh vaccine doses were given as the second dose. In Madhya Pradesh, the second phase of the vaccination Maha Abhiyan is being organized today and tomorrow with the target to vaccinate 35 lakh people in 2 days. More details from our Bhopal correspondent.
Phase 2 of mega vaccination campaign is being organized with the aim to mainly administer second dose of vaccine. Government agencies have been instructed to ensure proper arrangements including protection from rain at vaccination centers. Health department has publicized the drive along with NGOs, religious leaders, volunteers and various media units of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. State Immunization Officer Dr. Santosh Shukla informed that vaccination will take place at 7,500 vaccination centers in the state. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Gujarat government has issued guidelines for Janmashtami and Ganesh Utsav celebrations, announcing certain relaxations from coronavirus-induced restrictions. The state government announced relaxation in night curfew time in 8 cities for Janmashtami and Ganesh festival. The cities are Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Rajkot, Surat, Bhavnagar, Jamnagar, Gandhinagar and Junagadh. The decision was taken after a meeting of the state's core committee on the COVID-19 pandemic situation chaired by Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. On the occasion of Janmashtami, night curfew will be implemented from 1 a.m. on August 30 in 8 major cities of the state instead of the usual 11 p.m. The state government also said that not more than 200 visitors will be allowed at temple premises and traditional Janmashtami processions will be allowed with a limited number of participants on August 30th. For Ganesh Utsav celebrations, night curfew will be enforced from 12 midnight during September 9 to 19th. A 4-feet Ganesh statue can be installed in public pandals while 2 feet tall idols will be allowed in houses. It further said that only Aarti and distribution of prasad will be allowed at pandals and no other religious or cultural programs will be permitted. On the immersion days, not more than 15 people will be allowed in a vehicle carrying idols to water bodies, said the release. President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 4-day visit to Uttar Pradesh beginning tomorrow. The President will grace the 9th convocation of the Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University in Lucknow tomorrow. On Friday, he will unveil a statue of Dr. Sampurnanand, former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and inaugurate an auditorium at the Captain Manoj Pandey Sainik School in Lucknow.
The government will launch eShram Portal, national database on unorganized workers, tomorrow. Unveiling the logo for the eShram Portal, Labour and Employment Minister Bhupendra Yadav said that targeted identification of the unorganized workers was a much-needed step. He said the portal will be the national database of nation builders, the Shram Yogis, and help take welfare schemes to their doorstep. National Security Advisor G. Dobal hosted the 11th meeting of the BRICS High Representatives responsible for national security through video conferencing yesterday. India holds the chairship of BRICS this year, which coincides with the 15th anniversary of the BRICS grouping. The meetings of the high representatives responsible for national security have emerged as an important platform for exchange of views on political and security issues among BRICS countries. The meeting reviewed the regional and global political and security scenario with particular reference to current developments in Afghanistan, Iran, West Asia and the Gulf and emerging threats to national security such as cyber security. India raised the issue of cross-border terrorism and activities of groups such as the Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, which enjoy state support and threaten peace and security. This is All India Radio giving you the news.
Azadi Ka Safar every day with All India Radio from Monday the 16th of August. As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, News Services Division of All India Radio brings to you the story of glorious struggle and sacrifices of freedom fighters on 100.1 FM Gold channel in the English news bulletins at 8:30 a.m., 2 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Stay tuned.
As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Central Armed Police Forces CAPFs are organizing cycle rallies. It will be organized in various parts of the country from Dandi to Northeast and Leh to Kanyakumari. All cycle rallies will conclude at Rajghat and en route they will cover important historical places related to freedom fighters and the freedom struggle. Sashastra Seema Bal will organize many cycle rallies. The first rally from Tezpur in Assam to Rajghat in Delhi will start today at 9 a.m. Let's listen now to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day. On this day in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose became the Supreme Commander of the Indian National Army, INA, or Azad Hind Fauj. The INA was formed in September 1942 by Ras Bihari Bose in Southeast Asia during the World War II with the purpose of an armed fight for India's independence, but soon it was disbanded. It was revived under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose after his arrival in Southeast Asia in 1943. It was in early 1943 that Bose recognized that Southeast Asia, with its large overseas Indian population, was the fertile ground for establishing an anti-colonial force to fight the British.
मैं इस जिम्मेदारी को कबूल करता हूँ, लेकिन निहायत नम्रता के साथ, और खुदा से दुआ मांगता हूँ कि उन्होंने हमें वो ताकत, वो जोश और वो बहादुरी दें.
In January 1943, the Japanese invited Bose to lead the Indian nationalist movement in East Asia.
旧インド仮政府批判スバス・チャンドラ・ボース氏は空路ビルマに到着。日本と共にアジア解放の戦いに駒を進める。
Subhash Chandra Bose was one of India's most prominent nationalist leaders who advocated armed struggle as the only way to free India.
I do not know how many of us who are going to participate in the coming battles will survive to see India free. But whether we survive or not, whether we individually live to see India free or not, we are confident that India shall be free.
Netaji named the brigades of INA after Gandhi, Nehru, Maulana Azad and himself. There was also an all-women regiment named after Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai. Under his leadership, the INA drew ex-prisoners and thousands of civilian volunteers from the Indian expatriate population in Southeast Asia. The armed resistance of INA and their sacrifices are etched in people's memory forever.
August is also important in the history of the Indian freedom struggle because it is the birth anniversary of the famous freedom fighter Ganapati Agraharam Annadurai Ayyar Natesan. He was born in 1873 in Tanjavur. In 1900, he started the Indian Review, a monthly publication in English. The paper covered mostly nationalistic themes. When Mahatma Gandhi visited Madras for the first time since his arrival in India in 1915, he stayed at Natesan's house for almost a month. G.A. Natesan, who was a prolific writer and a journalist, established his own publishing company in 1897. He was a well-known publisher of Gandhian literature, including speeches and writings of Bapu.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, AIR News will today start a 75-episode program called Nishan on landmark sites associated with the freedom movement. It will be broadcast every Wednesday in our Parikrama program at 4:45 p.m. The first episode today narrates the history of Sabarmati Ashram, from where Mahatma Gandhi started the Salt Satyagraha.
स्वाधीनता संग्राम के वे निशान जो साक्षी हैं हमारे सेनानियों के संघर्ष और बलिदान के। आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष श्रृंखला निशान। हर बुधवार को शाम 4:45 पर कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर।
On to sports, the third cricket test of the 5-match series between India and England will begin today at Headingley in Leeds, West Yorkshire. The visitors are ahead by 1-0 in the series and will be hoping to make it 2-0. The match will begin at 3:30 p.m. Indian time.
India will open its campaign at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games with para table tennis players Sonal Patel and Bhavina Patel getting into action in the preliminary rounds of their respective categories today. Both of them will start against Chinese opponents in their first matches in group stage play. Playing in the women's singles Class 3 Group D, Sonal Patel will take on China's Li Qian. Bhavina Patel will get into action in the women's singles Class 4 Group A against another Chinese Zhou Ying, the world number 2 in this class, in the opener. The two table tennis players are also going to be India's only representation at the Tokyo Paralympics tomorrow. India has sent its biggest ever Paralympic contingent, 54, to Tokyo.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. National capital Delhi may witness strong surface winds during daytime. It recorded 28 degrees Celsius as the minimum temperature, while maximum will be around 37 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is predicted to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum and maximum temperature will hover between 26 and 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have a generally cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 25 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain. Temperature will hover between 28 and 35 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will vary between 22 and 33 degrees Celsius. Bengaluru is expected to witness a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 20 and 29 degrees Celsius. Srinagar may witness mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards evening. Temperature will vary between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. Jammu is forecast to have a partly cloudy sky. Maximum temperature will be around 35, while 27 was the minimum temperature. Leh may have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will vary between 10 and 27 degrees Celsius. Gilgit is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will vary between 16 and 38 degrees Celsius, while Muzaffarabad is forecast to have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the evening. Temperature will hover between 22 and 37 degrees Celsius. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong all may have generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain. In Guwahati, temperature will hover between 26 and 32, while in Imphal, temperature will hover between 21 and 27 degrees Celsius. Aizawl is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 19 and 26, while Kohima, temperature will hover between 17 and 25 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. US won't extend pull-out date. G7 for safe passage beyond August 31st, writes the Tribune. The paper has also noticed India's response at the developments in Afghanistan, voicing concerns at the United Nations. Hope Pakistan terror groups don't use Afghan soil, says India at UN. The Pioneer headlines, Karzai in Taliban Council to rule Afghanistan. Another story in the Daily reports, CIA director holds secret meet with Baradar. The press has also noticed the stir within Punjab Congress. The Asian Age writes, 4 Punjab ministers revolt against CM. Making it easier to book slots for vaccination, the Statesman headlines, vaccine slots can now be booked via WhatsApp. And finally, Hindustan Times writes about the heroic act of 13-year-old Anushka who saved 3 children from drowning in Rajasthan's Dholpur district but unfortunately died while saving the 4th. The paper writes, 13-year-old girl saves 3 kids drown while rescuing the 4th.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government evacuates 626 people including 228 Indian nationals from Afghanistan. Sikh community thanks Prime Minister Narendra Modi for evacuating Afghan Sikhs and bringing Guru Granth Sahib from Kabul. Prime Minister Modi discusses Afghan situation with Russian President Vladimir Putin. G7 nations urge Taliban to guarantee safe passage out of Afghanistan even after August 31 deadline. Mahad Court in Maharashtra grants bail to Union Minister Narayan Rane. More than 59 crore 47 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered in the country so far. Gujarat government issues COVID guidelines for Janmashtami and Ganesh Utsav. Third cricket test between India and England to begin today in Leeds. And India to begin its campaign at Tokyo Paralympic Games today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in. and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.